welcome back to Mapleberry Farm. Today I'm gonna go over a overdue video here of our solar setup that we have here. Now this is our setup, not a pro installer for solar systems, anything like that, but we were able to talk to I'd call him a pro at it, a guy who runs an off-grid store, sells this kind of equipment, and he was very knowledgeable and able to speak with and help me out along the way. So just with emails and stuff, and it was easy, but he made it easy, and I'm going to show you what we got going on here. So I had bought these panels. These are 150 watt panels. Now I didn't get them off the fellow I'm talking about. He actually had recommended other ones, but I already had these, so we had to work with what we had. So I had this, and I had the inverter that I'll show you when I get inside. So those things I just am working around what I had to work into this system, and then I got things with this system that can be upgraded to a bigger system later, so the stuff will work with that, right? So keep that in mind as I show you what I got going on here. So these are 150 watt panels, and I'll show you how I got them connected. So I have these connected in series. That's what I was recommended to do. So what it is they just all connect to each other. So the negative to the positive of the next one, right? And so on the whole way. And then you end up with a negative and a positive. So this is the main positive line after it's all hooked up. And then the main negative one is just down there. I'll show you in a minute. And then I have a ground. So they're all grounded. I just grounded them all off these plates here because the solar panel is attached to it too, and that runs the whole way. And then down here, and then grounded to one of our screw piles. So at the end of the positive line is recommended this fuse. So this here's an MC4. These are MC4 connectors, all these here. And they make it really easy. You just strip it off, put this in. There's a little metal piece that clips onto the wire. Then this plastic piece clips on, and then you just screw that on. And you do that the whole way on both sides, and then they just clip together right there. Very easy. So how I attach them is that these here are brackets I bought there too. So I just bought that bracket, attached it to a 2x8, and then that 2x8 to the wall, and then up there it's on a small little bracket there to hold the top in, and that there's on a 2x4 to the wall. And the reason why I did it this way, you can actually drill holes here and adjust these, because the winter they could even be tilted down more. And but what I can do is I can take these off and put them on something off the house later, so that's why they're like that. So we'll go around over here, and this here's where the negative comes in. So what I do, I have them running along here, and then inside they go right inside the house there. I just have tuck tape. I just drilled a hole through here, and then they go right through it. On the other side of this is the inverter, the charge controller, and if you look down here, I have a vent. That's where the batteries are. I just put a piece of pipe through here, and then I got to put some other tape. I only had duct tape at the time, so I got to put some more tuck tape there. But it's working for now, so I'll take you inside and show you what we got going on inside. Oh, before I go in, so that's 450 watt panels, so that's 600 watts, right? And they're in series, so you know, you can kind of look that up, because I can't think of the math off the top of my head. Alright, so inside we have, this is our charge controller, and if you look right now, you can see the batteries are at 76%. We got 66 volts, 50 watts coming in charging it, and 12.6 volts, 3.8 amps. So it's pretty simple. That's an MPPT charge controller, and this will work with the upgrades. That's a 60 amp charge controller. So I have the batteries attached to it and the inverter. So this inverter, I had already bought this with the other system, and this wouldn't have been what I would have used if I hadn't already had it. But since I do, this is what we got. So this is what we're rolling with for now. It's a 3,000 watt inverter, as you can see there. And then under here, I'll show you the batteries. We just had this box built. Just did this the other day because we're keeping them inside because we don't want them to get cold, and that's why we had that vent I showed you outside. Alright, so in here we have two 420 amp hour deep cycle solar batteries. So they're 6-volt batteries, so we have them connected in series to make them 12 volt. So we have right now a solar fridge hooked up to them, that inverter. These here are battery charger. We just use that if we're not getting no sun, or when we were first firing up the fridge we used it just to keep the power up on it. And yeah, so that's just if we need it, but we haven't needed it really. We haven't had this all up all that long either. So that's it for that, so it's pretty easy. And so these have to be topped up with distilled water through here. You just keep it above the plates inside. Okay, so while I'm at this, I'm going to show you the solar fridge we got. So this fridge runs on 56 watts of power. And check this out. And check this out. That's some deer meat, frozen solid. Works differently than a normal fridge, but does what a fridge does. Freezes things and keeps it cold. So, not a whole lot in here right now. Those deer sausages are awesome. But it keeps it cold, pretty cool, and it's not a bad size. It's 9 cubic feet, so she's working. And we just have that running through cords. Not sure if you can see them. Maybe there's a couple here. We're gonna tuck them in, hide them a little better, but that's 10 gauge wire that we have running about, I don't know, 20 feet or so. In behind here, over to the box. So that is the solar setup pretty much. Like it's a 600 watt system. Able to build onto it later and all that. I think that's roughly right off the top of my head what I can tell you about it. But it's powering that fridge. This TV, that's a 43-inch TV. It's a new TV, so that there I think takes 50 to 60 watts as well. That's a satellite box. There's a PlayStation there. That gets very little use. Both of these get little use. Even the TV, like I would say on a Saturday night would be the top amount that the TV would get used. And the PlayStation, I don't know, just not much. So if you were powering this stuff, running that all day and constantly, then you probably need a bigger system. So it's running that. It runs a fridge all the time. It does run that. So the main thing it basically runs a lot of the day. It runs a fridge all day and the internet. So let me see right there. Those that's plugged into it, and then that runs wireless internet, and that takes like, sorry you're in the dark, hardly no power. So I don't know exactly what it takes, but it doesn't take much. Well, I can look on there, actually on the side of here. So on the side of the inverter it says 0 watts right now. So it's probably under 10 to run that tiny little thing, right? Because it'll show us on there what it's running. And we run this here light. We have an LED light in there that we run too. And that's not very often either, because we have like lights like these, and we have the kerosene lantern. We have a propane one. This place, the way it's We have the windows in here. Like, this is all just daylight in here right now. So we have windows everywhere, so it's bright. The sun blazes in here, in there, warms this place up as far as that goes. So that's what we're running on it now. It's working for us. We like it. And yeah, so any questions, comments, things like that below, anything that I may not have thought about right off the top, because I just kind of wing this video for you guys to see what we got going on here, because I wanted to share it and show you. But yeah, so let us know below anything else you want to know. I know you will. See you in the next one.